An unarmed African-American man killed while in police custody. And as we've seen by the protests here in Northeast Ohio and across the country, many people are angry. But how can we deal with that anger in a productive manner? Pastor Kevin James from New Community Bible Fellowship joins me live to talk about it. Pastor James, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Christy. Thank you.
Pastor, I was watching one of your messages on social media, and you were talking about relating to this anger and pain, and you lived through the time with Rodney King and what happened with that situation. Thoughts on the state of our nation right now?
Yeah, I think this is a real moment for us where America, not just Black Americans, white Americans, because most people are not like the police officer and those officers who did this to this man. That was a form of insanity. But I think America is saying enough, simply saying enough. We're 20 years into a new millennium. This should not be where these type of hateful killings toward Black people, and especially our men, is occurring so frequently. And especially in the hands of those who've been entrusted to maintain law and order and protect American citizens, you know.
You talk about many of us having a lot of anger, and we do. And I think a lot of people are trying to navigate through that. You also talk about how being angry is okay. And maybe some Christians are like, I'm not sure if it is, but I'm still angry. What do I do? Talk to us a little bit about that and how to navigate through all this frustration.
Yeah, anger is a legitimate God-given emotion. The Bible even talks about how God is angry over terrible things and atrocities that we do, how we sin against him, how we sin against one another. And so for us to kind of bury that and not deal with it would be unhuman, inhumane, and especially when something so atrocious has happened. So we have to express that. Now, in our anger, we're not supposed to sin. We're not supposed to go out and reduce ourselves to doing the same things that we're angry with someone else for doing. In our anger, we're expressing sorrow. In our anger, we're expressing that we are standing with this family who has experienced this incredible injustice, and others who have experienced this form of injustice throughout the history of our country. And that's a very important thing to do, to express it. That's why I think the purity of the protest has been very healthy, yet the rioting has not.
Pastor, you say it's okay to express yourself regarding these protests and riots, but then you say, but don't reduce yourself. What does that mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, everybody is not operating from a faith in God. Everyone is not developed or learned or matured enough to deal with anger without hostility. Some folks, that's the only way they know how to express their anger is to be hostile, and that's unfortunate. But God calls us to love our enemies. God calls us to be advocates for peace and goodwill. And I think the vast majority of Americans, both Black and white, are that way. We have a heart of love toward one another. But unfortunately, as I said, some do not.
What is your prayer and hope as we move forward?
Well, one of my prayers is that there would be swift justice, and I was glad to hear that the autopsy came back saying it was a form of homicide. That's one of my prayers just immediately about this situation. But another prayer is that this would be a real catalytic moment, and we can tell how it's just really in the hearts of our people across the country, Blacks, whites. And my prayer is that it would be a place where we would experience a greater degree of racial reconciliation, a greater degree of healing, and also that some of the systemic stuff that's going on in our police departments would be handled better, where we're making sure men and women are psychologically fit, because what those men did to that man, to George Floyd, was a form of insanity. To make sure they're really psychologically fit to be out there carrying guns and supposedly protecting our citizens and maintaining law and order. That's my prayer.
Well, our nation needs a lot of prayer. You do have a prayer call that's happening on Friday. You guys say you do this every Friday, but it's so important right now. You've been doing it through the coronavirus, and now even more so important even this week. Tell our viewers how they can get involved with that.
Well, they can go to newcommunitybible.org. That's our church website, and on this Friday at noon and be a part of that prayer call. It'll take you through the steps to click and be a part and link in with live prayer that's going on as we come together every week to pray. We've really established this in light of the COVID-19 so we can be connected to one another in prayer in real time, and so they can be a part of that. We're hoping to do something as a church to really express our hearts concerning what has happened with George Floyd, and I've been talking with a number of other spiritual leaders and pastors across the city, and so we'll see what happens with that. But they can be involved with us this Friday, Christy.
All right, Pastor Kevin James, thank you so much for what you're doing and for being with us this morning.
Thank you. God bless you now.
God bless you too.